Okay. Well, obviously, most of you know that I am Rob Green, CEO of the GRM Group, and we have been working in the legal job market now in South Africa for 11, 12 years. Been a topsy-turvy couple of weeks in the market, and I've been asked by many, many, many of you what is going on. And I think in reference to the fact that two of the big international law firms have decided to close their offices in Johannesburg. And yeah, this has sent a little bit of questioning in the marketplace and what's happening to jobs, what's happening to careers, and thousands of questions that come off these kind of moves. Well, thousands is probably a bit too steep, but maybe hundreds of questions that come out of these kind of moves. And look, I've seen it all before. I've seen it before. So I've seen it in other industries, but I've seen it in other jurisdictions in the law as well. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of commentary. There's a lot of journalists, and there's a lot of recruiters, and there's a lot of experts offering their opinions on what this means. But I know, and I've seen it before. So, take my advice if you wish, but or don't. First things first. The first thing to note is this is fairly common. This happens all the time. South Africa is a market that is, over the last decade, maybe decade and a half, has started to have the international eyes on it. And law firms have started to move into the market. And that's great. It creates jobs, it creates opportunities, and that's fantastic. And as we all know, from an economic standpoint, Africa as a region is really the last place to be really grown. Asia has had its time, and that's now in a good space, and Africa is now coming through, and obviously South Africa is a market along with Kenya and Nigeria and a couple of the ones in North Africa that foreign markets and foreign companies and foreign law firms are very used to. So they see as a bit of a gateway to the rest of the continent. That is a mistake. That is a mistake on the part of the law firms, and that's why we've seen now subsequently a couple of them growing. This is all my opinion, but it is based on historical fact. It's based on knowledge of the economics. It's based on knowledge of the market. I've seen it all before. So again, it is my opinion. I'll caveat with that. But there needs to be, if international firms are going to move into any market, there needs to be, it needs to stop this one-stop shop approach. Globalization as a rule is not necessarily going to work. Each individual market is very, very individual, and it is very special. South Africa, let's take it as an example, very intricate, very nuanced, and wonderful. I mean, I wouldn't have moved here myself if I didn't think it was full of potential and full of wonder, but it needs to be treated as such by law firms that move into this country. And I think some will get it right and some will get it very wrong. But it's not uncommon to open an office and then shut it if it's not profitable, if it's not core, or your strategy changes, or you merge. It just isn't. And obviously, that doesn't really help the individuals, sadly. The individuals who've moved their careers there, their books of business, their client bases. But it'll all come out in the wash, and it'll all settle down, and eventually it will be a good experience for everyone. So really, it's nothing unusual. It's just potentially underperforming offices, maybe not underperforming with a local eye on it, but maybe underperforming from an international perspective. So, but again, my opinion, I have seen in the past, many law firms move into different countries and get the strategy wrong. Then in a nuanced market like South Africa, you really, really need to, I think you need to move. I have. And I think you need to really work hard to understand how the market operates and what the market wants from you. Also, you need to build a local presence. You need to build a local market with a local client base first, and then look outward. And I think a lot of firms look at it as maybe a potential back office, which is wrong, in my opinion, or they look to have it as an additional office that can charge their clients the same amount, which again is not really sustainable in my eyes. Not only that, but also I've predicted for 2 years now that you're going to see the need for law firms to move to a merit-based pay system. Lockstep models are dying a death. With the advent of competition, AI, more technology, more options for your clients, and the build-up of in-house teams as well, you don't need to be charging, and clients don't need to be paying ridiculous sums of money. So there needs to be a merit-based system. And put it bluntly, lawyers can still earn millions, but they're going to have to earn it first. So we're going to see a fast tracking more to a more of a merit-based system pay, which many law firms have already got in. And I've said in previous videos, they are the ones who are going to steal a march on the competition and attract the best lawyers. And then there needs to be a position, we need to move into a time where when you're attracting partners and you're attracting the best, share your strategy. Be open with what your strategy is and be open to where you're going and constant open communication with all your staff. Get them all invested. So yeah, I think this is a reset. I know I don't like that word, but it's a cleansing of the system. I think we'll see more of it. I think we'll see more firms either shutting, scaling down, and moving out altogether. We've said before that this is a very splintered market in South Africa. You're talking about 30,000 lawyers and 15,000 law firms, which is just too many, I think, in my opinion. I think we really are going to see a squeezing of the market, I think, and I think that would be a good thing. And I do think that we are going to see, shifts in remuneration and pay as well, because, it's with all of the things that I've just mentioned, it's going to be harder and harder to sustain that level of income. So, yeah, it might look a bit worrying and it might make for great headlines, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. South Africa is a very important market to a lot of international firms and a lot of international companies, and that will continue. But the strategies and structures will need to be looked at. And you'll need to follow us, and you'll need to follow experts like Jordan Furlong and others on the socials to really get to grips with what strategies are going to be put in play. But the job market continues to be buoyant. There's still lots and lots of opportunity. I hope we see a shrinking of the market in terms of the number of firms. I hope we see more and more firms merging together, and that through strength and growth will create more job opportunities. Thanks very much.